Today we're going to be making these lovely little trees out of some pieces of wood. The materials that we need to use are a couple of pieces of wood, something about it was 5 to 9 centimetres in diameter, and a piece of wood over 10 centimetres in diameter. Willow, hazel, or any thin stick, 10 mil or so, and obviously it tapers down, gets thinner at one end, a bit thicker at the other end. We can even use bits of firewood like this, and we'll show you how to make a pine tree using a piece of firewood.
The stands for the tree, the base of the tree.
Secure your piece of wood in a vise or G-clamp it to the table, or however you can just secure it. Again, we're looking at probably about a 15mm disc or thickness of discs that we need to cut. Hover the saw over the wood and make a very light cut pushing. And now we're into the wood. I keep my finger thumb there just for the time being, just in case the saw jumps out. You don't want the saw jumping out onto your hand. And we're coming to the end here now, and just go gently. Don't use any force at the end, otherwise you could lose control. Okay, we've got one little disc here. We'll put this to one side. Okay, this time we're wanting a slice over 10mm, and again maybe up to 15mm. Well, actually you can go as thick as you like. It's really important to play. Try out different things and take it slow and steady. Don't rush. This is just a long, slow, steady process. And there's our disc. The next thing that we need to do is to split this disc of wood into half and then into quarters. Okay, I've got my little mallet here, and let's just split through the pith. I place the axe on the wood. If it's not in the right place, I don't lift it up and bang it down each time. If it's not in the right place, I rock the axe over to exactly where I want it. Hold it still, little tap with the axe. Don't give it a big whack to begin with, just a little whack, and then you can hit it harder. And we're going to do this into quarters now, so half and then quarters.
Like, take time to have
Just put your hand down a little bit. So what happens, you'll swing.
Okay,
yeah?
Ready, set, go.
That's it.
Go.
Brilliant. Look at that. Beautiful. 2 hits.
It's always best to chop onto some sort of waste piece of wood, chopping block or whatever, rather than directly onto the table. Right, if you don't have an axe, you can use a bushcraft knife. So you place the knife on the piece of wood and you just tap down with a stick of wood like this. We can clamp a piece of wood with a G-clamp, F-clamp, or whatever sort of clamp you have to the workbench, like so. And again, we're cutting a slice out this time. And there we go. So we've got two tops of the trees here. Either we can use a saw, or if the willow is thin enough, we can use our knife and just roll the willow under the knife. Oh, that's nice, and that's a bit curvy. That's actually, you could make a very nice stem with the curve in. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to cut. Push down hard with the knife, twist the wood round, keep pushing down with the knife, and right, this will just split off now. And this big one will be fine for the bottom end of this. We take our base, place it down firmly on the table, and using our drill, we just push down. Alternatively, you can use a cordless drill. Right, let's just empty that and see how deep we are. That's probably 1 1/4 the diameter of the piece of wood, which is plenty. So will the tree trunk actually fit into the hole? It won't. So we need to get our knife, and this is a little wood carving knife, wood whittling knife made by Mora, and it's the 120. It's a short one. We place the stem on the chopping block. We hold the knife firmly but not tightly in our dominant hand, and we just push down, working round, creating multiple facets. If I was to do it on the table here, I can't push down, my hand is in the way, so I'm using a chopping block or a block of wood high up, and my hand is overhanging the chopping block. We take the stem and put it in the hole, and I made it too loose. I was too eager with my carving. So what we'll do is I'm just going to cut a little bit off the bottom. So again, twist round. You can use a saw to do this, but actually doing it this way is quicker and easier, really. Okay, maybe not quicker. And let's try this again. And because it's slightly tapered up at the top there, it just fits in nicely. And so that's our base with the tree trunk on top. And we're going to drill a hole in the base of this to go on top here. And what we're going to use is a slightly smaller drill, and we may have to shave this down a bit more.
I wish Miss Smith could see me.
Can you see the sawdust coming out now? I haven't yet come across a child who can't drill a hole. I have seen some children take 20 minutes to drill a hole, but they all do it. If you don't have a vise, you can hold it against your chest like this and twist round. Just be careful as you initially start, because if you get it at the wrong angle, the drill can slide off and maybe stab yourself in the hand. If you're using a power drill, really do clamp it in a vise or to a surface, like so. Make sure you do it up tight so it can't move. Take your cordless drill, line it all up, and just drill in. You may want someone standing in front of you or behind you just to sight it so that the drill is parallel to the table. What you don't want to do is to drill it at an angle and damage your drill bit or damage your G-clamp or damage your bench by drilling into either one. And what I'm doing is doing a slight taper on the end, so that if I have gone too small, and I push it in, it will lock in. Actually, I haven't taken quite enough off and this won't go in. And this is quite normal in woodworking, that you have to test, take some more wood off and test again. Slow and steady gets there. It's all too easy to take far too much wood off in the first place and have to make a whole new bit. So you heard that really went in very tight. And push it in the bottom, and let's just twist it round a little bit to get the best angle. Okay, that's quite nice. Okay, what we can do now is to take it out, and you can see the edges are all rough. If you feel confident enough, you can use a knife and just take off the edges like this. But depending on the ages you're working with, I would use one of the my little hand sanders and just sand over the edges like so.
Look, that's smooth. You need to put a bit of sand in there, I think.
Okay, I'd like that. That's cool. So let's put it back in its. Whoops, that way. Oh, that's that way round. Okay, and we'll just do one of the smaller ones as well. So I'll just push that in, and there we go. And again, we can sand this off, we can sand the base off, we can paint them, we can dye them, we can stain them, we can draw on them. There's all sorts of things that you can do with them.